We're here. About as perfect as it gets for weather. All right, we're at Rice Lake State Park in Owatonna, Minnesota. It's the 4th of July, 250th year of America. And we're gonna pop on the hiking trail here. We're gonna start here. We're gonna go around here, this way and up and around, and then back here. Walk-in site 1, where I'm camping tonight. So we're gonna head out this way first. Flies are a little aggressive. So I believe this is where we're going to end up when we make our way around. But our walking site's right there, so we'll just skip this part and go right in there. Rocking the boonie hat today. First time I actually brought it out in the field. So we got southwest winds for the most part right now. There was a shelter up here that I didn't take a look at when I was scouting the group camp, which is occupied by an extraordinarily noisy bunch right now, unfortunately. But it's the 4th. Okay, so we're right here, this little intersection. Now, just a side note, there is a church, like a historic church, way up over here. But there's really, like, I don't know, this is a snowmobile, so it's more of a snowmobile route there, and then it goes down here and off into who knows where. And there's a cemetery here too, down here. Now, I've taken a look at the church. It's nice and quaint, historic. I haven't been inside. And then I've never seen the cemetery. But one thing that I really want to check out one day is the waterfront sites. There's 5 sites in this area here. I'm not even sure how to get here without a watercraft. And I'm not a watercraft person, so I don't know yet, but I'm very interested in checking those out, scouting those one day. So let's take a look at this shelter. Then we'll pop back on this trail here. Actually, this goes this way. We'd have to go past the group camp to go over here. So I'm just gonna skip that part because it'll get awkward. So we're just gonna go up here, take a look at this shelter, and then pop back down here, I believe. Unless there's a turnoff up here. Oh, no, we're not gonna do that because we wanna go down this way. So we're actually gonna take a look at the shelter and then go back down this way. I'm dyslexic, so that might change in 4 minutes. Oh, this is interesting. The flies here are pretty crazy today. In memory of Russell Lewis. You can hear the flies. No hives, I don't think. Looks like Peggy and Neil were here this year. Wow, so a lot of this seems to have come from the same group of people. Looks like Chloe was here 2024 and 2025. Unless she was just being presumptuous and brought the future year. Landon may have done the same. So if they continue this trend every year, in about 20 years, it'll just have their names everywhere. This is a nice little shelter, though. Nice shingles, too. They can actually have a little picnic here with a fire, which no one has done recently. Wow. I don't see any trails near here. Things are growing in pretty well around here now, though. Now we're heading directly into the wind, so The pop filter is being tested. I'm sure it's not 100%. The wind usually picks up in the prairie areas because there's nothing to really mitigate it. As we go in the more forested trails, cuts back on the wind. Just a side note, cell phone signal is pretty strong here, LTE. Probably encompassing the majority or almost all the hiking club trail. See if you can guess what the password will be. Yeah, Rice Lake. One of many. This one's shaped like a V though, for victory. Owatonna, Minnesota. I think some of the history of it is Native Americans used to collect rice from it. That's about all I got. Now I am camping here tonight at one of the walk-in sites, which are kind of the hidden jewels for camping here. And this will be my third, actually my fourth camp trip here. First time in the walk-in site. The last two times I was here, there was these amazing barred owls that made their appearance, and I'm really hoping that happens again. The first time I was here was very rainy, but I was visited by a fairly large toad who just kind of sat next to me. On a picnic table, or next to the picnic table, while we were enjoying the fire in the rain. So this park is very special. Now we are far away from most of the traffic in this park, but there's probably going to be a decent amount of people here. So as we go closer this way, there'll start being more people that we'll probably encounter. It is possible that the password is in the part of the trail that we're not going to go to, which would be the northeastern part of the park, I believe. That'd be up in this area here, which it doesn't say hiking club trail here, but on that map we were looking at, it looks like it was green as though it were. So the maps on Avenza and the physical ones that you see in the hikes, sometimes they don't always corroborate, which I believe is a management / funding issue. And the physical parks on the trails are probably the ones that are out of date. So the watercraft sites on the other side of the lake are further down that way. I'm gonna see if we can eyeball them from this trail as we get further along this way. The more I think about them, the more intrigued I am by them. I'm really not at a point where I want to start doing, getting into a watercraft and going in water and doing a portage. Or as the guy from Lost Lakes would say, a portage. Alright, so this is a trail access point here from the main campground, one of the loops. I think the B loop, which is more of the electric loop. It's this loop here. Okay, so I guess green is hiking, not hiking club trail per se. So yeah, we probably will cover all the hiking club trail actually. The winds are coming this way, from this direction. think this wind is really helping keeping the flies off. But I have no spray on or anything like that. No permethrin. Moving at a steady pace with very light gear, so I'm not really sweating too hard. Alright, here's another entry point from the main campground, from the A loop. And the site right to your left and right to your right when you enter the main loop from here, I'd highly recommend both of those sites. They're probably the top 2 sites in both of these loops. Alright, so we started here, made our way here, checked out the shelter, went along this route here, and now we're here. So we're going to continue on the green. Maybe not all the green. I did this part last year, but I've pretty much been all over this park at this point now in my life, so yep, we're gonna go up here to the boat. Yeah, we might check out these loops. Packed winter trails. So initially I did want to cut back this way and go through here, but these are winter trails and right now the grass is really tall. It's a very bad idea because of ticks. So right along this way, when we approach the end, before we turn, we're going to see a dock. We'll go on the dock and look off on the lake. We're almost across from the watercraft. Let's see if we can get a little closer. They're down here. I don't know how practical it is to try to walk around the lake, or if that's private property even. I really don't want to get in a boat and scout those, but I really want to scout them. So I'm kind of thinking now in the off season, late fall, early spring, trying to walk around that lake, but it might not be practical at all. It might be marshy or boggy or private property. I don't have any binos on me, binoculars, and I'd probably really need them to check these out from here. Cipher-Tu. This is my first camp trip of July 2025. I'm actually going to try to put the body cam on a boonie net. Got a full tank tactical chest rig, highly recommend them. Or kit bag per se. I'm going to clip it right up here. Just kind of see how it feels. And see how it looks in post. Alright, so this will take you up to a parking area. That's where I parked to do the scout. We'll continue along the trail here, along the lake. So the watercraft sites are right across, somewhere across here. Yeah, I don't see no pink tents or nothing. Oh, how convenient. So we should be looking straight at them from here. Yep, can't see. Ooh. It's a nice little picnic area. And this is the bridge that you see a picture of it on the DNR homepage for this state park. I'm pretty sure this is it. I'm not sure if any of those sites on the water on the other side of the lake have shade, or they're just in direct sunlight. Which, if they're in direct sunlight, that'd be a deal breaker for me. There's a pretty large parking area over there, just behind that restroom, the rest area. Looks like the world's largest tent pad. Not sure what this is all about, what this is for, or why it's like this, but it looks like a massive tent pad. Yeah, it might have been a playground at one point. Kind of shocked that there's nobody over here right now. This place was pretty packed last year when I was over here, and it wasn't even a holiday. Well, maybe that's why. It is the 4th. People might be in firework areas. I'll take a look at the dock here. But make sure to hunker down the boonie hat. These pictures, they get a better quality. That's kind of why I like taking both. One documents the location at a time, and the other gives you a nice quality picture. That's kind of why I do both. And I won't use a phone for this picture here because it's a little risky, because I might drop it, and I am a klutz. once a month, bare minimum. Looks like there's some water bugs in there. I know you can't see them. Pretty impulsive. You know, cattails, they kind of remind me of that. There's a board game called Candyland, and there's a part where there's like a swamp area, and it always reminds me of the cattails, they were like candy cattails, caramel or something like that. I always think of that whenever I see them. Like an American redstart bird. That's my new favorite bird. Ever since my hike at Fort Ridgely State Park. That's my favorite bird now. It's a very nice picnic area. So this is looks like the observation area. There's a lot of informative literature. Okay, so we're gonna continue on this way, and we're actually gonna be, this trail goes right through the 4 cardin sites. They're not placed in a very good spot in my opinion, as there's this common trail that gets traveled. So we're gonna be cutting right through all 4 of them here, and they're all booked. I don't know if they're all occupied right now, but they're all booked. And in my opinion, these are probably the most awkward cardin sites that I've encountered. But they have a nice view. But where the cardin sites are and where the nice view of the lake is, there's this trail. So you got constant bobbling heads going past. When I was doing a scout of this area, this campground here few months ago, it started a downpour, and this guy came in, and his lady friend, they came in on a motorcycle, and they went right here, like he knew exactly where to go in case it rained. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't think you're supposed to drive a motorcycle in here, but yeah, it was still kind of cool how he knew where to go. This is a pretty good area for a picnic, even like on a rainy, downpouring day. There's no grill in here, but yeah, it's right there. There's some cover here. Looks like some electricity even. Yep. Alright, so we're approaching the cardin sites now. Shout out to Stinkleberry Farmer, who camped at cardin site 1 for one of his camp trips. That was a pretty awesome video. You got to see some really cool birds over the lake. It also kind of documents all the traffic on the trail as you're enjoying the view of the lake. Now you can see it's like right on the trail here. This is cardin site 4. L4. I'm not sure what the L means. So Stinkleberry, he stayed at this one right here. I thought this was one, but it might be two. These two probably got the best view of the lake. Ah, yeah, that's right. This one is one right here. Okay. Yeah, so Stinkleberry stayed at 2, and this is site 1, Cardin site 1. And the parking's right here, and the carts are right there. It's so close. It's basically a walk-in site. But if I had to pick one of these sites, I'd go with this one, for sure. You could kind of hunker in right here and have your own little nook. There's a trail here though, which I think we're going to continue on. Make sure we're taking the right turn. Yep, good. And that site looked like it was unoccupied. There were people who had their stuff set up, but they weren't there. I would never recommend anyone ever do that. I know it's inconvenient, but especially on a site where you're right on a major trail, I would highly advise against that. Another Eagle Scout project. Thank you, Dalton David. Oh, it looks like we're in the boat launch area. So yeah, we got time, so we're gonna go through these loops and then resume. We'll go through the loops that way and then come back out this way, just here, and then we'll go up this way and then finish off the hike. We got plenty of time. It's just I don't have any water on me, so I gotta move at a reasonable rate so I don't sweat too much, because it is pretty hot out. It's the only concern I have. Hydration. Oftentimes here is a location where there's just a crazy amount of birds, depending on when you're here. It's almost like a Hitchcock film. I actually do have another hike video of this place, Rice Lake State Park, where we're in the same spot here and there were a lot of birds. So I can prove it. So we'll go through here, check out the loops, and then come back out and head that way, which is kind of a bland, straightforward trail until you get to the entrance. You know, last time I went this way first, so this time I'll go this way first. Right here. We're going to keep to the left. Wild rye and wheatgrasses. There it is. Silky wild rye. Nice. This one looks a little different. Well, it is bottle brush grass. Nice. I'm going to raise my standards. Okay. Wind is really helping keep everything nice and cool, and also keep the bugs at bay, which aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be at first. Specifically the flies. It's a certain kind of fly too, and I'm not sure what kind it is. Now the shade from the clouds is helping. You know, this is kind of applicable to a story. I was watching this video once from this guy who was doing a hike at Glendalough State Park. And he comes across a bench, and it's got tall grass, kind of like this. And he points at it and he says, "See that bench? See that grass? Ticks."
But yeah, see, you sit on that bench to take a break, and that tall grass, with your feet under it, ticks.
And then he just walks. It was kind of hilarious the way he said it. I always think of that whenever I see a bench with taller grass on it. Alright, so we're in the northwestern part of the park here. There's this dotted line trail where you can go along the edge. Yep, look, I think this dark, it does mean private property, so there's no way to really walk around this lake. There it is too. Unless you can park in somewhere back here, but there's private property here too. So to get to these water sites, I think you got to take a boat, man. Which makes sense. I just heard a bunch of like a tree fell over here or something, like a big branch fell. All right, so we're gonna finish off this loop over here, make our way all the way across to this loop, and then meet back where we started. Bullet holes. Wow. I think there's a snowmobile trail somewhere buried in here. They probably pack it in the snow in the winter. Oh, Jack in the Pulpit. I've seen a lot of those. Probably a cool little home for something. If someone was here, I would dare them to stick their finger in that. Caught on there pretty nice. Nice little arm, like a hand holding on. It says meadow-rue. That's the genus. There we go. Western meadow-rue. I was supposed to get to about 93 today, so I'm going to feel a little ripped off if it doesn't at least hit 90. I still haven't done a camp trip in the 100-degree Fahrenheit range yet, so that's on the docket. So when we decided to stay left earlier, this was the route. If we went right, it would have brought us here. So when we were here, we went this way. We're now here. So this is the middle trail right here. So we're gonna keep going straight and finish off this loop. This one should have a little bit more sun in it, not as much trees. Because the genus is willows. We hear a baby. I think the baby heard me say I hear it, so it quieted down. A bird baby, not a human baby. Ever since I got in this sunlit area, I've been kind of harassed by flies a little, but I think they're confused by the boonie hat. I can really feel that sun demanding the moisture out of my body. I do have a ton of water at camp, so I'll be able to hydrate very well. In this camp, I happen to be right next to a vault toilet. It's probably 10 steps away from my site. And it's not really near a bunch of other sites, so it shouldn't be too trafficked. Kind of happy about that, but there wasn't any toilet paper in it, which I don't really need because I bring my own, but still that gets a kind of bad or a not too bad for a rating. Oh, better own toilet. 2 of them. Oh, in case one goes bad. Oh, looks like one did go bad. It's not too bad though. Not too bad. Uh-oh. Kind of bad. Kind of bad. No TP, huh? Ah. Doesn't smell bad in here though. Kind of hoping I get a little sunburnt on this one. The hike at Fort Ridgely, I thought I was going to, and I didn't. So it might have just been the efficacy of the sun at that point in time. Fort Ridgely, it was the 20th of June. It still wasn't the solstice. So it wasn't officially the summer sun yet. That's pretty nice. There's flies flying all around me, but I think they're puzzled because they don't sense any fluoride saturated in my skin. They don't know what to do. Usually humans have that saturated deeply in their skin from frequent bathing. Yeah, these are the flies I was telling you about earlier. I don't know what kind they are. You know, maybe we can find out. Maybe we can find out here. Sure can. Striped deer fly. Something tells me those aren't good flies. You know. There's all types of variations. Wow. Ooh, that's a lot. That's kind of cool. Usually it's hard to identify insects on the fly like that. So now that deer fly will have a special place in my heart every time I encounter them, even if they choose to bite me. And they haven't yet, so maybe they don't bite, but I would guess they do. Poplars, cottonwoods, and aspens. It's the genus. Yep, I think I just had one of them try to bite me in my eyebrow. One of those flies. The flies are definitely harassing me on this part of the trail here, the sunny part. Which I wouldn't assume that. I would have assumed that when the sun is shining, they try to stay out of the sun. Kind of like a mosquito would, but nope, it's not the case here. Alright, and we finish off both these loops over here. This little nook of the park. This little area right in here. So we're back here, we're gonna head down, exit in this area here from where we came in, and then go up this rather long, boring part. Nice and breezy now. A lot cooler. I mainly put on the boonie hat today because of the exposure to the sunlight risk. But as I'm learning, it's actually also helping mitigate the bugs. So there's two good reasons. And a third reason is going to be probably, I'm going to use that to put the body cam on, especially when I do rucking, because the rucking, when I'm rucking with a heavy rucksack and the camera, I tend to lean forward like this and I don't have a way to tilt the camera up, and it's pretty lame. So if I put it on my hat, I'll have a better view theoretically. So I'll test out the sample I did earlier when it was on my hat, and then figure out a way to hunker it in up there so it stays there good and it's nice and practical. Figure out all the things that might go wrong that I didn't think about, work out those kinks, come up with solutions, iteratively improve. Last time I was here, there was a whole flock of birds up there, and they all moved in one direction at the same time, and the sound of their wings together, it was an amazing sound. I don't even know really how to describe it. Almost like an ocean wave or something. It was pretty crazy. It's not something I hear often. As you can see, it's the main parking area for the boat launch. It's like a fish cleaning hut back there. Not sure what this is all about. So there should be a little trail here that branches off this road here in a second. Yeah, but he's trying right there. Huh. Lowered on purpose. it'd be nice if there was like a trail that branched off from partially middle part, well, that part of the loop that we were in recently, and connected to this trail over here, so you didn't have to cut through this road. Because walking on road is kind of lame when you're hiking. I mean, it's easy. Here we go. So this part starts off shaded, and then the second part is a little bit more sunny. Very straightforward. It's like a monarch butterfly. So there's two concerns I have with my camp later tonight at walk-in site 1. And the first concern is the noisy, obnoxious group campers, which were blasting music and making loud sounds. It's the 4th of July, I get it, fine. And the second concern is being harassed by deer flies. And since I'm not really moving around or walking, I'll just kind of be a sitting target, hoping they disappear at night, and then the mosquitoes will probably emerge and they're less of a threat, in my opinion. Another concern is that the walk-in site next to me actually it's become reserved, actually, so I have nearby neighbors. Now, there are walk-in sites 1 through 5. I'm at site 1, which is furthest from the group camp. Site 5 is the one right next to the group camp. And site 4 is reserved as well. So it looks like they made a practical decision, try to keep their distance from the group camp, keep their distance from my reserve site. But between us is 2 and 3. So if either of those become reserved, depending on who it is, it can make for a pretty depressing night and morning. But we'll see. So I guess there's more than 2 concerns there. Optimistic concerns are that it stays nice and windy and the tree leaves mask a lot of the subtle sounds that are less desirable. And another optimistic concern is we get a nice rainstorm, thunderstorm that lasts a while. But that would probably lead to a very humid morning, which I am fine with. I thought I heard a waterfall over here, but it was just the leaves and the trees blowing. I'm starting to get to the point now in the hike where I probably kind of need some water. I just had a piece of pie this morning and some coffee for breakfast, so I'm starting to get to the point where I'm kind of craving some dinner. The options tonight are going to be the both Mountain House meals. One is a creamy macaroni and cheese or pasta primavera. And I kind of should go with the pasta primavera because I had the creamy mac and cheese last time. But that stuff is still good. I'm still kind of craving it this time. But we'll see. And I also have the Noka smoothies and some assorted licorice, the all sorts, and a lot of distilled water, which I'm going to be pounding. I do have Twinkies at home. I didn't bring them though because it's just too hot. It's too risky. They're too delicate. Like we're in Steele County. S-T-E-E-L-E. Steele County. Kind of like the silhouette. Look with the bunny hat. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to bring the boonie hat with me and start using it more. I'm considering like putting some gilly on it, maybe some jute. We're up here, we're walking right parallel to the road, the main road, which is 19. At least in downtown Owatonna. You go that way, west, about 8 miles. Owatonna, it looks like though, it's becoming more of a city, kind of like the surrounding cities in Minneapolis and St. Paul. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Owatonna has been compromised. All right, we're in a very muddy area here, very muddy, high risk of slipping. Got a barrier. It's like a person or a relative may have passed through this way. Very tall grass going around this way. Making sure there's no deep water or mud. I'm gonna go this way. High risk of picking up hitchhikers doing this. It's not as bad as I thought. And we're done. Check for ticks. Don't see nothing on me. Okay. Oh, we almost went a whole hike without a barrier. God forbid that. Smells really good around here, like lilacs or something like that. You know, we have been getting a reasonable amount of rain this year, so I'm kind of shocked the areas where there's low water. But then they mentioned they purposely keep the lake low, so maybe they control it. So here's the entry. We're gonna take a look at the sign. So it's not as busy as the road at Cipher-Tu Lake State Park. It's probably one of my favorite state park signs. We're here. About as perfect as it gets for weather. All right, we're back on the east side of the state park. We're heading back to our campsite. You know what, we are going to go around this way. But I haven't seen the password. I don't think there's a password here. Yeah, we're going to go this way. Looks nice and clean, so why not? Kind of did want to cut down this way and come in the back door from where we came, but that's okay. I'd rather see this side. I saw this part recently during the scout, so that's okay. And my hike last year also, I believe, I went through there. I haven't been on this trail since, whoa, 2022, I believe. April 2023, I believe. That was my second camp trip here. Like whenever I'm next to loud campers, when I'm camping, I kind of wish I had the power to summon the black bear powwow group and just have them get right to it. Just full blast, you know? True power. Alright, this is going to be a hot and sunny one. This is essentially though how Rice Lake State Park does a prairie. Ooh. Pretty sure you can't see the church from here, so you can't even see that, but whatever that is, it's not the church. The church. I guess it doesn't really matter because every 2 blocks there's a church, which is really weird because our bodies are temples. But lots of people wouldn't make money that way then, would they? If everyone looked at it that way. All are welcome. Cheap labor and money is welcome. All is welcome. All are welcome here. Just do what we say. Be controlled. All right, this is the furthest northeast part of the park. For the most part. It's probably a different story with snowmobiling in the winter. Pretty sure this continues this way and then takes a right and goes past the church for snowmobiling. Alright, about to exit the sunlight now. So I took that boonie hat off for a second, and I could immediately start feeling the flies hitting my head. So this has really helped out a lot with the flies specifically. You know, usually they'll sting right through my do-rag, and it's really annoying, of course. But it's not as annoying as those group campers over there who are blasting their music and acting like a bunch of village idiots. So if I went this way, I'd travel right through their obnoxious site, which would be very awkward and probably wouldn't end well. So we're just gonna head back where we started, and we're gonna wrap up this hike. So thanks for taking a look. Take care.